Alright. So, how's this week been overall so far with the viola?
It's been good. I feel like I'm making a little bit of progress. I've had a little less time to practice, though. I've been so busy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand that.
School,
I barely get time.
Yeah, I'm like I have 22 credits, and I work 2 jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly the same.
Yeah,
I feel you.
Yeah. So I've been getting into it when I can. So mostly weekends is when I practice. So it's been good though.
Yeah, because a lot of it too is when you are practicing, make sure if you ever run into any pain or anything, just stop and bring that information back to me.
Yeah, this hand has felt a lot more comfortable since last time we worked on the pinky stuff.
Do you want to play just an open G for a little bit and let me look at the right hand? Now on this bow, go all the way to the frog. And to the tip. And can you do that one more time for me? Alright, so with your bow hand, these 3 fingers look really good.
Mm-hmm.
If you the pinky is kind of locking, like this.
Okay.
Let me flip it. So when you first start, your pinky sits on top pretty well. You have a good setup now on your hand. But then when you get closer to the frog, your pinky starts to lock. So I'm assuming it's just the way that you're adjusting your weight. Because if you watch how my pinky moves in this, as you get closer and closer and closer, it's just kind of the way that you're adapting to it. Mm-hmm. So going back to, you can just hold your viola somewhere where it won't fall. Here, I'll hold your viola.
Okay.
Holding with your left hand the bow up above, and then taking your right hand with the monkey hang. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that?
This guy?
Yeah. And making sure that there, and there is where your fingers are lining up. That looked good. And feel how your pinky is just kind of like resting there. Mm-hmm. At no point should you really feel a lot of pressure on a certain finger because it's a lot of balancing. Mm-hmm. So now if you let go of your left hand, feel that balance. You can feel that the pinky is holding it, but it's not really like a pressure that you're adding to it. Mm-hmm. So trying to just maintain that hand shape, think about how you can release some of the pressure on your pinky. So play around with tilting it just a little bit back and forth, like wobbling it. See how you can transfer some of that to your pointer finger.
Yeah.
Try and wobble it just like this between your fingers. See how your pinky is kind of like doing the worm?
Yeah.
Really, hold it again with your left hand. And kind of reset, put your pinky on there. Then put your thumb. Try to think of a way to explain this. Let's do tapping exercises. So start with holding with your left hand and tap your pinky.
Okay.
Now tap your index finger. And tap your pinky again. Now can you tap both? Now, how's your thumb? I can't see your thumb. Is it still in its spot? Good. Alright. Now, I want you to let go with the left hand. I want you to try and tap with your pinky. Good. You're getting it. Yeah, you should be able to just hold it. Because then if you transfer that to your pointer finger, you should be able to hold it.
I can do it better with the pointer finger than I can with the pinky. Mm-hmm. When I go with the pinky, it wants to hold here. Like a fit there.
Yeah, you can allow a little bit of gripping in between those fingers. That's good because it's like dispersing the small weight that the bow is because they're not that heavy.
Would that be bad because this finger looks like it's kind of locking up a little when I move my pinky?
Yeah, try not to lock up because kind of like how we talked about before, the jellyfish.
Yeah.
You want your fingers to always be flexible.
Yeah. I guess that's where my problem is because almost all the weight is still being held by my pinky.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's try and do some bowing stuff. So with the viola, we'll do a little bit of call and response. And what I want you to pay attention to, the notes aren't really that important. I want you to pay attention to where I am in the bow. Okay. Because that's mainly what I want you to imitate. So. So going back, get a little closer to the frog.
Okay. Ooh. That's where you want.
Yeah. That will take time with the crunching. Let's do a few more complete bows. Okay. So start right at the frog, like as close as you can. Yep. And I want you to grab the string. And by that, I mean I want you to push down in the string right where that frog is, and wiggle it a little. You shouldn't move, the bow shouldn't move, but you should be able to move the string.
Oh yeah, okay.
So do you feel that pressure?
Yeah.
Now start the bow and feel that like release with it. Now your weight that you're adding into it, don't think about the weight coming from your fingers. Yeah. Think about it coming from your whole arm. So you don't want at any point to get this kind of wrist, the dinosaur wrist, because then that's going to throw off your fingers. So whenever you feel like you're too far down like this, or if you're too high up with your wrist, make sure just lift your elbow higher.
Okay.
That should help.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Don't engage your shoulder, but lift your elbow.
Okay.
So.
I felt like lifting my elbow helped take a lot off my pinky.
Yeah, because I was watching your hand frame as it went across, and you really were starting to get it.
That was like the most. That last one was the most natural it felt. Like my pinky didn't feel any sort of anything.
Yeah, because all the bowing that you're doing, unless you're the only time you're really focusing on your wrist, not necessarily only the time, but
I can do the pinky thing.
Yes,
yes, perfect. I can do the pinky thing.
Yeah, because if you ever feel when you're bowing and that your hand is really locked up in that hand frame, just take it back and really think about your whole arm. Yeah. Because most likely it's something that you're really tensing. Yeah. That's just creating that.
Cool, yeah, that felt good.
That tension.
That felt good, yeah, I like it.
Good. Cool. Alright, so let's try and do a few more bowings. Now we'll do a little more complicated call and response stuff.
Alright.
So starting on G.
Yep.
Still at the frog. Now at the tip, same thing.
Oh,
now, do you hear that scratchy tone? That when you're playing, you have this whole field between your fingerboard, a little over the fingerboard, into the bridge.
Yeah.
As you get closer to the bridge, you can get more sound, but also you can get a lot scratchier of a tone.
Okay.
As you go farther away from the bridge, you can play a lot softer, and you get generally a sweeter, kind of lighter tone.
Okay.
So here, listen for a little bit. When I'm playing this open G. I'm not changing the pressure at all when I was going up. That's naturally just from
of course, your scratch wouldn't be as nearly as extreme as mine, but
yeah, but that's where the scratchiness is from.
Yeah,
it's just
from going too close to the bridge?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Do you have rosin too, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because, let me see your bow for a sec. Have you been rosining at all?
No.
Okay.
I haven't done it once since I got to be
you can hold that for a sec.
Do
you have your rosin?
Yeah, it should be in there.
Okay. Because
this can be another thing. You can teach me how to do this. I've never...
I don't
even know what this
so
is.
when applying rosin, it kind of depends on how much you're practicing. You can kind of get a general overview of how much rosin you should have on it depending on that. So when deciding whether or not to put more rosin on, generally we don't need a lot of rosin, especially for like beginners. There's not really a lot that's going to get used. But when you're applying it, you want to make sure you have, number one, an even coat.
Yeah.
Number two, don't apply too much.
Yeah.
And what was the other thing I was going to say? When you're rosining, make sure you don't touch the actual hair.
Yeah. Because
that will, the oils on our hands really wreck the bow hair.
Yeah.
So when you're rosining, I like to put, if you can put your thumb on the metal part, and that blocks you from hitting and chipping the rosin when you're rosining, and then just start from the frog, go to the tip, and come back. And that's the reason.
Apply it on there? That's what you do? Okay, cool.
Yep. And do it like 2 or 3 times.
Cool.
And that should be enough.
Cool. Perfect.
But do it, say like, with the amount you're practicing, maybe every other week or every other 2 weeks.
Cool. Yeah.
But it's not.
I'll probably have to do it more over spring break because I'm just gonna like sit on my couch and watch Ghostbusters 1 and 2.
Very nice. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, good. That already looks a lot better. Cool. How does your arm feel? Because
this arm feels fine. The only time I ever get any sort of arm thing, it's in here from holding it up.
Okay.
Which like makes sense because this.
Yeah,
is something I do a lot.
yeah. It's all new, and it's going to take a while to change.
Especially because on tuba, unless I'm tuning a slide on this arm, I'm just like chilling this arm over the tuba. This arm's just always like whatever.
Yeah. So when you're positioning with the left hand, the reason why the sponge is going to help you a lot is because, like right now, without it, I'll demonstrate. When we take our viola and you just try and use it without the sponge, a lot of it relies on the left hand rather than the connection between the chin and your collarbone. Yeah. So when you don't have it, more is necessary from the arm to fill kind of like that variable that's lacking here. Yeah. So whenever you can, try and use the sponge, even if it's just a couple of minutes, because when you don't use that sponge, you're changing the muscles that you're using.
Oh, okay.
So that will kind of like throw off things. Yeah.
Darn, I thought I was okay, all right.
Because when you play with or without it, you're changing a lot of different like variables.
Yeah, because I just like without it, I have to adjust something less. So that's the only reality. I can be lazier.
I got you. But try to use your sponge as much as you can.
Okay, yeah.
Because it will make a difference. Because I don't want you to, if you do have a lot of time to practice over spring break, I don't want you to pull anything in your left arm right now. Okay. So feel free to message me on Facebook if there's any questions about this.
I'll shoot you a text on it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, text me. Alright, so let's try and do a few bowings. They might be a little advanced right now, but I just wanted to run through a few different...
Okay, it's okay.
So, when we're looking at the bow, here, I'll set a second, actually. When trying to find, there's a balance point in the bow, and you can kind of find it by weighing out the bow altogether. So using your finger as a leverage, try and find that point, or close to that point. It'll be very hard to actually find the point. But once you find about the point, remember that spot.
Okay, hold on. Maybe
So that's because it's usually like around middle to lower half of the bow. You'll find the balance point. That's a good spot. So take note of that spot.
Okay.
Now go back to Viola.
Set up my hand. Get my elbow up.
So that point is where, if you need to do a technique, we're going to go over staccato. So for bouncing, when trying to bounce, the best part to bounce in is that spot.
Okay.
So
yeah,
when hitting it, think of dropping the bow to it. You're not pushing it down and up, down and up, down and up. It's a drop and it reacts on its own. Yeah, just keep going.
See, I'm still dragging a little. Can you drag a little bit? Or is it all like just, I'm basically just... Am I when you do it, is there a slight drag on the string when you hit it?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's try and start on the string. So imagining you're already on the string. Now play and lift. Now put it back down. Now play and lift in the opposite direction. Now do that again. And again. Now, your hand frame is a lot better now, and you do have a good control, especially with the pinky right now. That looks much better. One thing that is going to help a lot with this technique is flexibility in your fingers, though. Because right now they're in a very good spot, but it's kind of like you're holding like a fork or something, like in like the weirdest and oddest way you could handle a fork. But that's like how you're holding it to eat. Yeah. And when you eat, you bend your fingers to pick up things and get it to your mouth. Yeah. And when you're bowing, especially for like staccato, you want your fingers to react. So having that curve in the fingers really will help the bounce. Because if you go all from your arm, then you're going to see the tilt. Yeah. And it's going to throw off the direction of the bow. So really, this is more of a finger and wrist.
Oh.
Yep, you found it. Very nice. Do you feel how the bow, if we take the bow and just drop it, so let your hands set like this, so the bow is angled up, and naturally just let your fingers rotate and drop. Do you see how that bounces?
Yeah.
That's what you want when you're doing staccato, that just natural bounce to it. And think of your fingers as just like pushing. Now don't lock your pinky though. Yeah, there you go. That's alright, you're doing good. Generally, when you're playing, it's best also, and it will help you with a little bit of tilt this way.
Okay.
Because the tilt will help make the bounce of the bow.
Okay.
Good.
teeth.
Yeah.
That's just gonna be hard about it.
But that's good.
Cool.
Want to do a little improv for a little bit?
Sure.
All right. So, what have you been practicing so far?
I've been working on those scale worksheets you gave me, and then I've been using like really, really early stuff I did when I started playing tuba. And I just like read bass clef, but this works because it's pitched in concert pitch. So.
Okay.
So I just like do stuff like that.
Over break, if you can, try and get Viola Suzuki number 1.
Yeah. I'll probably have to get it when I come back to Potsdam. Do you think they'll have it in Northern?
No, definitely.
Like, definitely?
Yeah.
Cool, I'll probably get it from Northern.
Or some beginner viola book.
Yeah, so we can start
Suzuki would probably be the best to kind of work through a solo or something. Mm-hmm. But if you see, there's the essential elements.
Yeah.
That I think they're a little more.
Yeah. And they're a little more, like, standard and cheesy.
Yeah. So I think just going, like, music-wise would be good. As I'll teach you a few songs and we'll go out by that route.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. So, we're going to run through a 1-octave G scale.
Alrighty.
So starting on our open G string, yep. And now can you go back down? Did you notice the pattern in your hand?
Yeah.
If you can just hold out your fingers, what did that look like? If you were to exaggerate it, like holding it out like this. I'm just holding all 4 of mine out.
So it'd be this.
Yeah, great. Because then you get the idea of the whole step and half step, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
No, it's good because it reminds me that my fingers are chunky. Yeah. Because when I go right next to him, it's like, oh, I don't really know if you want to do that.
It's all good though. Your fingers at any point could be touching, especially with a lot of half steps. And as you get higher up, your fingers are going to have to get closer and closer. Cool. So don't worry too much about that. It's a good thing that they can be next to each other. They can touch. That's okay.
They can be friends.
They can hang out.
Yeah, cool.
So now, using any of those notes, play whatever you want out of those notes.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just gonna play a drone for you.
Okay.
Keep going. Awesome. That's good.
Yeah, I've been bringing it out into the living room, much to the dismay of my housemates. And like when we're listening to pop music, I'll like make a little viola line. like
yeah, you can play along with anything.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
If one of your housemates literally like gives you a standard chord and just plays along with it, you could just improv over it. That would really help your fingers get a good sense of where they should be geography-wise across the fingerboard.
Every time on those sheets that Kara Lowe I have to fill out that I never can fill out on time because I'm a drangus. She's always like, "Well, what are you working on?" And I'm like, "Oh, the intonation. I know you think I'm lying, but every time it's when I go down to play an A and it sounds nothing like the A I just played 2 seconds ago." So, making sure my finger lands on the same spot every time. I'm a tuba player, man. It's got 5 pistons. They're huge. I'm not gonna miss a piston. Your fingers have to be dainty.
But it's definitely a lot